The Dwarves, an ancient race, reside on the outskirts of what is considered civilized human lands. Their territory is situated in the World Edge Mountains, a majestic range of jagged peaks that loom high above the world. Within these snow-capped peaks, the Dwarves have carved out their kingdoms, known as Karaz Angkor, meaning everlasting kingdom or the mountain realm. Towering watchtowers crown the peaks, impenetrable gates are carved into the mountainsides, and secret passages are ingeniously concealed in unexpected places, such as deep chasms behind waterfalls or seamlessly integrated into corroded cliffs. From these formidable strongholds, the Dwarves mobilize their armies for war. The World Edge Mountains are a treacherous and unforgiving realm, plagued by landslides and freezing winds. It is a rocky domain where monstrous creatures roam the peaks, and the mountain passes serve as the primary routes for invading forces. Hordes of orcs and goblins ravage the land, while armies of ogres march from the east, seeking to prey on the vulnerable. To the north, barbarian tribes turn to chaos in search of supernatural powers. Only through unwavering vigilance and tireless labor do the Dwarves manage to hold their ground. In times long past, the Dwarves reigned supreme over the old world. While humans were mere savages, clothed in animal skins and armed with primitive tools, the Dwarves, with their gleaming shield walls, conquered the continent, advancing like an unstoppable wave of steel. Their insatiable thirst for gold and gems drove them to explore distant lands in search of treasure. In those days, even the poorest dwarven realms boasted wealth surpassing that of the mightiest kings from other races. Alas, that golden age has faded into history. Nevertheless, it is unwise to mention this decline in the presence of a dwarf, for they remain a proud people. The slightest remark or perceived insult can ignite their fiery wrath. Dwarves are not ones to forget grievances. On the contrary, they hold onto them tightly. In their language, there exists no word for forgiveness. Once someone becomes an enemy of a dwarf, the feud will persist throughout the individual's life and extend to their descendants. Every slight and transgression is meticulously recorded in the dwarves' eyes, and each stronghold possesses its own book of grudges. The capital of the dwarf kingdom, Karazakarak, houses the Damaz Kron, the great book of grudges, which ancient inscriptions date back to the time of the first dwarf ancestors. The deep-seated nature of their grudge-keeping is evident, given their history rife with bloody battles, tragedies, and brutal invasions. There exists a lengthy catalogue of injustices inflicted upon the dwarves, a legacy of unavenged retribution passed down from their fathers and ultimately their ancient forebears. Dwarven biology and characteristics. Dwarves, known for their stout and compact stature, possess distinct physical features such as broad shoulders, beards, and remarkable endurance. However, it is their rough and unwavering nature that truly sets them apart. The inherent stubbornness of dwarves is legendary, with numerous tales recounting both great triumphs and tragic losses resulting from this deeply ingrained characteristic. In the face of danger, dwarves display an unyielding spirit, refusing to accept defeat willingly. Their loyalty is unwavering, as they honor their words and uphold oaths despite the most incredible dangers or the passage of centuries. This same indomitable determination drives dwarven craftsmen to achieve unparalleled feats of engineering and architectural marvels through sheer perseverance and hard work. Yet, the stubbornness of the dwarves often leads them into turmoil. Their unyielding nature compels them to engage in terrible and bloody wars, taking even the slightest provocation seriously and refusing to make concessions. This has caused the dwarven race to lose allies and embroil themselves in countless battles where survival seemed impossible. Even in their pursuit of unrivaled craftsmanship, the dwarves' bellicose streak creates challenges. Their legendary intolerance for imperfections means that they will go to great lengths to rectify even the slightest flaw, undertaking painstaking work until complete satisfaction is achieved. If this necessitates discarding all previous efforts and starting anew, so be it. The dimming flame of the dwarves. Amidst the desolate ruins of the once mighty strongholds, a resilient flame still burns within the hearts of the dwarves. The echoes of ancient tales and memories resonate through the half-empty halls of the surviving mountain fortresses. But this is not the wailing of a defeated race. Instead, these stories ignite a fervent military pride within the dwarves. Deeply ingrained in their stony hearts is an unwavering and passionate desire to right the wrongs of the past, to restore justice to the lands, and, above all, to reclaim what was once rightfully theirs. The High King of the Dwarves, Thorgrim the Grudge-bearer, has summoned his people to war. His name carries the weight of an unbreakable oath, as he has vowed to avenge every injustice inflicted upon his kin. These resolute words will soon be matched with resolute actions, forged in fire and vengeance. In response to the resolute call of their High King, the dwarves tightly clench their armoured fists and march forth to reclaim what is rightfully theirs. Though their numbers have dwindled, the power they wield is still formidable. Centuries of relentless warfare have transformed the dwarves into a race of fearless and unyielding warriors. What they lack in sheer numbers, they more than compensate for with their unmatched martial skill, unwavering determination, and the unparalleled quality of their weapons and armor. Dwarves are renowned as heavy infantry. They abstain from using cavalry as they are unaccustomed to mounted combat. The harsh and rugged mountains they call home are ill-suited for cavalry maneuvers anyway, and the dwarves, too proud to admit their stature as an issue, prefer to fight on foot as they have always done. Each warrior wears meticulously crafted chainmail and wields a devastatingly lethal axe or hammer. Technologically advanced, the dwarves have made remarkable strides in engineering. They were the pioneers in harnessing the power of black powder and unlocking the secrets of steam. The fruits of their knowledge manifest on the battlefield through their formidable war machines. While they still employ revered designs, such as catapults and arrow throwers, as well as the first cannons of the old world, the dwarves have expanded their arsenal to include newer and more unconventional instruments of destruction. Within the workshops nestled beneath the mountains, flame-belching cannons, multi-barreled field guns, and skyborne death machines are brought to life. Only their inherent conservatism slows the pace of progress, yet even so, the dwarves possess a greater array of devastating devices than any other army. They can unleash entire batteries capable of reducing the enemy to ashes. Should the enemy miraculously endure the onslaught of cannonballs and torrents of fire, they will then face a barrage of bolts and bullets unleashed from the crossbows and rifles of the dwarves. Thinned and battered, the enemy will then confront the unyielding shield wall. Confronted by axes, hammers, and a relentless thirst for vengeance, few can withstand the fury for long. Over the centuries, countless foes have learned that begging the dwarves for mercy is a futile endeavor, for they are easily offended and demand reparations in blood. Perhaps most disconcerting of all are the dwarves known as slayers. These individuals have sworn an oath to meet their demise on the battlefield, for pride is a matter of life and death to the dwarves. Those who have taken up the mantle of the slayers shave their heads, except for a distinctive crest painted a vibrant orange. These representatives of their race are the only ones who go to war without armor, yet they fight with such ferocity that many defy their own promise of death, emerging victorious instead. Thus, the slayers strive for a greater demise, seeking out even more formidable adversaries. Like the towering peaks of the mountains, the Eternal Kingdom has withstood the ravages of time, enduring centuries of battles and relentless attacks from countless foes. Despite the bitter legacy of a history filled with war and betrayal, both the mountains and the indomitable Dwarven race endure, proud and defiant. As High King Thorgrim the Grudge-bearer swore, the era of resistance has come to an end. A new chapter unfolds, and the time for revenge has arrived.